While backup has been around forever, we're going to now look at a newer feature called the cleanup. This is what we looked at a little bit ago from the File menu and from the Utilities option, and then the very last option, which is Cleanup Company Data. This tells us that budget data may be removed during cleanup, and do we want to continue? I'm going to say yes, I do. And of course it starts a wizard. So the Cleanup Company Data creates an archive copy, and that really is a better word for it. When you use cleanup, that can mean a lot of things to different people, but it's actually archiving a copy of your company file for your records. And then it removes all of the old transactions, okay? It says it won't reduce the size of your company file. All right, well, let's go ahead anyway. Remove transactions as of a specific date. So this removes closed transactions on or before a date and enters a summary. So it can't just take everything out or it would throw things off, especially, for example, your balance sheet. Your balance sheet is based off of things over time. So it's going to create summaries. If you had 500 checkbook entries, for example, it's going to take out the 500 and replace it with 1. So the numbers will still balance, your books will still balance, you just won't have the detail that you had before. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to remove everything on or before 12/31/2011 because that's the date we last closed the books. You also see that you have an option to remove all transactions. That means everything is going to be gone. All of your lists, your preferences, and your service subscriptions will be here, but all of the individual transactions will be gone. That's a pretty drastic thing. So we'll stick with the first option and click Next. Now it says, do you have any other criteria for removing transactions? For example, do you want to remove uncleared items? Do you want to remove transactions that are marked to be printed? So maybe you have checks sitting out there that haven't been printed yet. That's usually not a good idea. Do you want to remove invoices and estimates that have not been sent? Or do you want to remove transactions that contain unbilled or unreimbursed costs? You can see why those are additional and they're optional as well. We're going to leave all of those turned off. What about unused list items? If we have unused accounts, do you want those to go away? Yeah, that would be okay if I haven't used them in a while. What about unused customers? That kind of depends. Maybe you have customers that kind of come and go or they're seasonal, things like that. These really are more subjective types of questions. I would remove unused vendors. And if I have anything in the other names list, we can go ahead and remove those as well. And then I'll say Next. Then it says, do you want to proceed with cleanup? It sounds so formal. It's going to close all of your open windows and perform the following things. So here's our little checklist. It's going to back up your data file. Well, that's good. We just did a backup, but it actually is part of the cleanup process as well. I just like to have a separate file that I know that I've done. Call me insecure. Do you want to verify the integrity of the data? Yes, that's a good idea. Do you want to create an archive copy of your company file? Yes, that's also part of this process. And do you want to remove transactions and enter monthly summary journals for these? Yes, as well. These are all of the things that make up the cleanup process. If you didn't want to do these things, then you could do any one of these things individually kind of on your own. We'll go ahead and click Begin Cleanup. This is where it tells us that it has to make a backup. So we'll say OK. We'll go ahead and save it into the same folder just for this sample purpose. This particular box is coming up just because we were working with the sample file. Normally, of course, it would restore your company file and not the sample file itself. And finally, we see the message that we like to see. QuickBooks has successfully removed your old data. It says if you need to review your old data, you can open the archive copy of your data file. So that's great. It tells us what the name of the file is, and it nicely puts in all the different information that we need, and it tells us where it's located as well. At this point, we'll just say OK. It puts us back into our file, and we can say, yes, I've done it. I've used QuickBooks. I've successfully closed my books for the period. I've printed my reports. I've backed it up so it's safe, secure, and I've optimized it by archiving old records. Did you hear that? I think I did. I think it was the sound of you taking a breath. And that's okay. You should take a deep breath because you deserve it. You've just finished Mastering QuickBooks 2009, and I know there's a lot of information to absorb. If you remember all the way back, you learned how to create a company file, how to make accounts, how to work with transactions, how to receive payments, work with employees, secure the file, and even share information with others. It really is a lot of information to absorb, but congratulations are in store because you deserve it. You've made it. On behalf of myself and Total Training, I'd like to congratulate you for finishing the course and to recommend that you take some time to absorb everything as well as practice what you've learned. We know that with the skills you have in QuickBooks 2009, you'll now be able to make your business, whatever that is, a smashing success.